Warning: the following video may contain harsh language, crude humor, and may offend unintentionally, and is an affiliate of Scythe Ring Productions. The opinions and comments expressed do not reflect those of the Scythe Ring team. All credit and criticism shall be warranted to TWS Productions. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to That Wrestling Show. Hopefully you've all enjoyed your Thanksgiving turkey, stuffing, gravy, and are gorged out to here. It's been kind of an interesting week in professional wrestling, so why don't we get right down into with the news of the week. Kurt Angle actually mentioned on a private interview that if Vince had offered him a spot in the Hall of Fame, that he actually might decline. It's mainly due to the fact that his work in TNA stands for itself. He loves Dixie, and he really isn't thinking about leaving TNA. Okay, Kurt, I want you to think about this carefully. You're going on and on about how you're a wrestling machine, you have so much praise and respect for the business, and yet if someone gives you a shot in a Hall of Fame, you're going to decline them? Really, Kurt? Really? Don't. The next thing you're going to tell me is that you were supposed to defeat The Undertaker. No. 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 We don't, no. Again, no.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch!
An update from the last report on Henry Godwinn. Believe it or not, he's said to be alive and still fighting. The main concern right now is his lungs. And also, there is no word right now upon Christian, who is still being pulled from events, especially the Survivor Series card that happened last weekend. So, Henry Godwinn still fighting the good fight. The problem is he did a Ryan Dunn better than Ryan Dunn did. And Christian, we don't know how severe his injury right now is, and we'll get some more injuries in just a moment. Jericho mentioned on Twitter that he will not work for WWE again, and he only means that basically by saying that there are more things in the world of dance looking forward to him. And those of you curious if the time is now skits are for Jericho, WWE is saying that they want Jericho back to help boost ratings for Raw, so obviously The Rock's not doing it. Go figure. And Jericho says no. So it's kind of a convoluted way of going about it. Jericho says he's not doing it. WWE says he is doing it. And all Twitter is going to fluff. Again, I don't subscribe to Twitter. I don't really see much of a use for it, to be 100% honest. I don't get my news from a chat source, to be 100% honest. But other than that, is Jericho coming back to WWE? I wouldn't say rule it out, but I wouldn't count on it. On the injury report, Sunny, that's Tammy Lynn Sint, was actually injured on an escalator. Yes, she hurt her nose, forehead, waist, and foot, and mentioned that she's actually healing slowly. My only question is, Sunny, were you going up or were you going down? That's all I want to know. And in the injury report, and this is actually something that's been flying around for a while, Sin Cara is, in not so many words, fucked. He's actually being out with a torn patella rupture, a patella tendon rupture, excuse me. Meaning he will be out for 6 to 9 months. He had surgery on it on Monday, says his cousin, and he is, recovering nice and slow. SuperLuchadors.com did a whole expose on exactly what happened. Apparently, Sin Cara did not technically botch the move. If you see the replay again and keep a look on his left leg, when he went to do the jump, his whole leg essentially, for lack of a better term, his whole knee exploded. His tendon completely locked up, tore apart to pieces. Essentially, Sin Cara pulled a Triple H. Now, those of you that don't know what it's like, imagine walking down the street and your whole leg just gives out. You're going to just completely drop. There are some people saying that Super Lucha Libre is, or SuperLuchadors.com is trying to cover for Sin Cara, but the weird thing is, if you watch the replay, he essentially just fell. He didn't even clip the rope. His knee was completely out of the way, and when he did the revolution, I should say, his whole left knee was bent. So essentially, in not so many words, he pulled a Triple H. It was just a freak accident. There's really nothing you could say more about it. His surgery went well, and he will be back in 6 to 9 months. And those of you wondering if they were going to release Sin Cara, they just re-released merchandise of him. No. No. Chi-Town Tribune writer Luis Gomez is actually pissed at WWE for mishandling the whole Del Rio CM Punk angle. He actually says that it didn't have that big fight feel that SummerSlam had. I don't know why he mentions it. Money in the Bank had. And, he says he brought it back early and put the title back on Punk. Therefore, the whole angle is blown. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone is entitled to, what they want. He's a sports writer. He's from the Chicago Tribune. He's blasting CM Punk. Kind of makes you wonder where his loyalties are. I have some reservations myself as to putting the title going back and forth to Cena Del Rio Punk, Cena Del Rio Punk. I'm not a big fan of hot-shotting. I'm not a big fan of making the title a hot potato. There are some people that say on any given night a champion or challenger can win. Personally, while I partially agree with him, I don't think the angle is ruined. I think WWE realized that Cena does not need the title for The Rock. They try to build up Alberto Del Rio, and they're trying to build that storyline. And was it right to give CM Punk the title? From a fan standpoint, no. But from a creative standpoint, yes. It's kind of a 50-50, however you want to look at it. So, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that they necessarily ruined the angle, but I can kind of see where they're going with it. Now, there are some sources saying, and this actually came out with Dave Meltzer, is that certain people in WWE are getting away with things. While Evan Bourne was suspended for 30 days for Spice, there was also one other superstar who was also pinched, but due to his standing in WWE, he was not suspended. Initially, it all came out of the woodworks, I believe it was Tuesday, that it was R-Truth that was also pinched. Now, seeing as how he was in the main event, or was going to be booked in the main event at Survivor Series, they were going to wait for him to get squashed and then get destroyed by Miz, who's probably now going to go on a WWE singles push. Dave Meltzer wrote this whole article saying that there are some guys that, due to their main event status, are getting away with murder and they're doing things, and you know what? That's no surprise. Dave, really? Come on. Did you see Batista? Really? Did you see Batista? Come on.
The truth has set me free.
Bischoff actually has gone absolutely crazy attacking a fan on Twitter, actually saying online critics, if they were as smart as they said they were, that they would actually spell Garrett correctly. Apparently there were a couple of fans that were mocking the whole Garrett Bischoff thing, and they were spelling his son's name wrong. This is where the one fan retorts back. He actually says, and I quote, no one really cares about the angle, therefore no one cares to spell it right. Nepotism strikes again. To where Bischoff, in an act of genius, and it actually makes me wonder if he actually has any of it left, actually says, well, then why are the ratings so high? Bish, not to be confused with the smell of your own shit, but no one really cares about the whole Bischoff-Garrett thing. Attacking fans on Twitter, really? Do you have anything else better to do? I mean, are we going to have a biography of Finding Bischoff next? I mean, if those of you that want to see something somewhat entertaining, watch Finding Hulk Hogan. While you sympathize with the guy, you also shake your head. So it just makes me wonder, again, what are they doing? Like I said, more news coming up. Lots more news this week. Unofficially, and this is unofficial, you cannot hold me to this, but unofficially, there is a 99% confirmation that WrestleMania 29 is going to be held in Dallas, in Cowboy Stadium. However, nothing is official, and it won't be made, or any decisions won't be clear until early 2012. Apparently, the spokesman for the entire building says they would love to hold the event, but they're not sure if WWE in the year 2013 and the year 2014 are going to be good markish years for WWE. I think they're looking at it from a business standpoint. So those of you in Texas that want to go to WrestleMania, you might get it at 29, but don't bitch and complain, because 4 years ago, you got it once before. So again, you can't bitch, you can't complain. You get it a lot more than certain other venues. And this is, again, unofficial news, but take it with a grain of salt. The word is that John Morrison is finishing up his WWE contract, and he will actually be finishing up coming within a week or two. There are many that feel that he is TNA bound, and the plans, if he were to go to TNA, and again, take this with a grain of salt, is to use him in the X division. So never mind Austin Aries, never mind Brian Kendrick, just take another WWE guy and put him in the main event for the X division and just use whatever. You know, it's a cheap way to get fans from WWE to watch TNA. I'm sorry, it ain't going to work. Undertaker can debut in TNA, and it's just not going to work. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. While there are some people in the back that are kind of feeling for John Morrison, one particular person says that, well, he feels very somber towards WWE, almost as if his heart is broken. We don't know if it's just because of the performance, if it's because of the whole Melina thing, of how they've treated him. We don't know the whole backstage stuff. John Morrison, a great talent, a waste of talent that never will be used. WWE, believe it or not, is actually pushing Twitter because they feel that WWE is losing exposure. You know, I got nothing. Whoever wrote that article, or whoever thought that we need to make WWE get more exposure, come on, you guys are a global phenomenon. Everyone knows what WWE is, and if they don't know what WWE is, there's a fucking reason why they don't know what WWE is, because they don't care. You don't need the Twitter. You don't need the Facebook. You don't need any of that garbage. Just promote wrestling. You know what I mean? CM Punk and Del Rio, they had a wrestling match, and it was a damn good match. Wrestling sells. Can someone please tell this company that? And the last bit of news that we have this week, those of you that were curious about Matt Hardy, well, fuck him. Because he's being, again, held in prison on a $1 million bond for being kicked out of rehab. That was a story that's been, everyone knows about at this point. Yeah, Matt Hardy, those of you that are Matt fans, well, you can be Matt fans all you want, but I've lost hope in him for a long, long time. Now we get to, well, another part of this show, better known as the breakdown. One of the questions that's been popping up is The Undertaker. He might have a promo in the Twitter thing. Those of you that watch Monday Night Raw noticed that some of the Twitter things were kind of screwed up. Some people said it was Chris Jericho. Others were saying it might be The Undertaker. Now, while some people are saying that Taker is completely fit and strong and he's getting his strength back, and all the reports are saying that he will be ready for WrestleMania, there's some that are saying no, he's not. The real thing is it time for The Undertaker to pack it in? Does he have one more match left? Should he have one more match left? He's going to have one more match. And who should it be? I think the real question is, how can you market this? If this is going to be The Undertaker's last match, keeping in mind that WrestleMania 29 might be held in Texas, you would kind of think that they'd want to do it there in Texas, his hometown. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want to do it in Miami, Florida. I mean, it's rock country, and you're giving him Undertaker's last match. I know it's too marquee. I'm not to say that The Rock is a bigger star than Taker, but when you have one dream match, you can't have, you know what I mean? You just can't do it. It's like when they did WrestleMania 24 with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. It was Ric Flair's match. Nothing overshadowed it. Nothing over-encompassed it. There was nothing there. With WrestleMania 25, it was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. With WrestleMania 26, it was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. You had all these other great matches, but you had that one match that made it WrestleMania. And last year, well, never mind. So the question is Taker's last match going to be at this year's WrestleMania if he shows up? My answer is, if it is, it's a big mistake in the wrong direction, because you already have John Cena and The Rock. The Undertaker's last match, you just can't do it. You can't have a dream match and a last match in the same show. You just can't do it. I don't personally think there's going to be enough. I can't say there's not going to be enough promotion, but personally I think if Taker's going to go out, it should be his show. It should personally be his way, and it shouldn't be in Miami, Florida. It's got to be in Texas. But then again, if he does wrestle this year at WrestleMania, that means his final match will be in Texas, and he'll make 21 appearances. 20-0 sounds, for some reasons, 20-0 sounds better than 21-0, unless they're going for a 20-1, which I highly doubt. The whole thing is Taker coming back? We don't know. Is Taker going to be coming back? Again, we don't know. It's a massive fest of he's healed, he's recovering, he's going to be showing up, but he won't be able to work the road schedule. He may be doing one match a year, the one match of the year, and that's it. And many people like myself they're kind of okay with that. You know, we know that Undertaker's up there in his years. We know he's not a spring chicken anymore. We definitely know that he can't perform at the caliber that he used to. Not to say that he can't, but considering the amount of stress that he puts his body through, it seems that he tends to exhaust himself just on the one match alone. So is Undertaker going to be at WrestleMania this year? My guess is don't hold your breath, but he just might be. Who is his opponent going to be? Many people say it might be Triple H. Some people say it could be Chris Jericho. And I don't want to throw this or spoil it, but it just possibly could be Kane. The reason why I just throw out Kane is he also got a promo on Monday Night Raw, and they mentioned or hinted that the mask is there. I'm not saying he's going to have the mask, but it's possible that if this is Taker's last match, you might as well do it with Kane. It's his third time fighting him, 3 times a charm. Can it happen? Old Kane, old Taker, might as well. And that'll do it all for this week's episode of That Wrestling Show. I thank everyone for tuning in. Subscribers. We need subscribers. We need more views. Those of you that go to the chat room at thatwrestlingshow.webs.com, thank you. We love the pay-per-view chats and the Monday Night Raw chats. We have so much fun. It is splendid. It is awesome. We love absolutely everything about it. And until everything, send in your comments, your thoughts, and any questions you might have regarding the show. I am DM from That Wrestling Show saying, until next time, I will see you then.